Hello boys, welcome back to another interesting session of video tutorials, and this is for class 12th biology students, and this is for 3rd October 2020. We are into the revision and we go ahead with the next chapter, Principles of Inheritance and Variation, precisely genetics chapter. And this chapter is very important. It has got maximum marks in the CBSE board exam for your batch. So you need to focus on this, and whatever you could not understand when we were doing the regular videos, you can compensate here. Focus on that. What you need to do is, you already have downloaded the video related to genetics chapter. So you see that video, then see the notes. So the concept becomes formed. So there were some technical words like emasculation. What is that emasculation? Removal of anthers from the flower. And similarly, transfer of pollen grains from one flower to another, pollination. So there is two, self-pollination and cross-pollination. So irrespective of that, once the seeds are formed after fertilization, and the seeds will be having varieties of characters when the seeds grow and become adult plants. As you are seeing, Mendel observed varieties, and he has picked up one character or trait as consideration for his experiment. When he picked up one gene, inheritance of one gene, he called it as monohybrid cross. So what is that? He has considered that one trait or one character here is tallness, the length of the plant, whether the plant is tall or dwarf, means short. So Mendel crossed tall and dwarf pea plants and collected all the seeds obtained from this cross, like this, like above we have said. And he grew all the seeds to generate plants of first hybrid generation called F1 generation. So F stands for filial, okay, Latin word. Filial means children. So first generation children. He observed that all plants are tall. This is important. Normally, what do you expect? You have taken a tall plant, crossed it with a dwarf. So let's say this is 1 meter tall, okay, and dwarf, let's say it's half a meter tall. And what do you expect? The hybrid, the F1 generation. Normally we expect 1 meter plus half, one and half divided by 2, 0.75 meter at least on an average, okay. But what is that Mendel has observed? Against our common observation, what is that he has observed? He found that he observed that all the plants are tall. That means the plants, instead of this average length, one of the parental character has come. All the F1 generations are as tall as one of the parents. So the question comes, what happens to this trait of dwarfism or character of dwarfism? Where is it gone? Why is that it has disappeared? Why is that it has not come to the children, F1 generation? Why only tallness has come? So the various questions have cropped in his mind. And then he performed this experiment repeatedly and made some observations based on this monohybrid cross. So similar observation was also found in other pairs of traits. He not only did for length of the plant, he did for all the 7 contrasting characters that we have listed in our previous session. So what is that he has done? Mendel self-pollinated F1 plants and found that in F2 generation some plants are also dwarf. That means when he crossed this F1 plants, okay, F1 versus F1, all are tall, okay, that means both the parents are tall. But in F2 generation, to his surprise, not only tall plants were there, but there were dwarf also, short plants. So Mendel question was, when parents, both the parents are tall, F1 parents, how is that dwarfism has come in F2? The character is not at all there in the parents. So the character that is not there in the parents has come to the children. So naturally, he wondered from where this dwarfism is coming. Because we understand that this dwarfism is because of the grandmother or grandfather. That means we understand that some of the characters which are not there in the parents, they must have come in the family from the grandparents. This is the tree, genetics tree. So the genes flow from not only generation to generation, immediate generation, even from previous generations. And he calculated the percentage or the ratio. How many plants are tall, how many plants are dwarf. So the proportion of dwarf plants was 1/4 and the tall plants are 3/4. That means out of the 4 plants, 3 plants were found to be as tall as the parents, whether it is F1 or the parental generation, one of the parental generation, one of the parents of parental generation. And 1 plant out of the 4 was found to be dwarf. So what is that possible explanation that we can give? Of course, we already said Mendel was not knowing the structure of gene, or in fact he did not even name it as gene. You remember, he has called it as factor. Later on, neo-Mendelists did a lot of research and technology helped us. So now we are able to understand the cell, within the cell cytoplasm, within the cytoplasm nucleus, within the nucleus chromosome, inside the chromosome DNA, and the portion of DNA is gene. So this much now with the help of technology we are able to understand. But kudos, salutes to Mendel, because without all this he could do it, and whatever experiments he has performed, even today they are worth and true. That is the greatness of Mendel. And for all this, what is the key for his success? Observation. So science students must have good observation. And what is that he has observed, and with the help of neogenesis, the monohybrid cross is written. So first one is parental generation. P stands for parental generation. And there are 2 things. One is phenotype, another is genotype. When we write phenotype is the physical appearance of an individual. And when we say physical appearance of an individual, we say somebody is tall, somebody is short, somebody is bulky, somebody is thin, like that. This is phenotype. And how is that somebody is tall? That's because he must have genes for tallness. So phenotype is definitely due to the gene combination, and the gene combination is called genotype. So gene makeup or gene ratio, genome that is present in the individual is called genotype. So every time when we write, we have to write both phenotype of the individual as well as genotype of the individual. Then only we understand the questions. We can answer the questions that Mendel got as well as all of us got. Like we said here, in F1 generation, how is that dwarfism disappeared? Question number 1. And in question number 2, in F2 generation, when both the parental plants are tall, how come one of the plants in F2 generation has got dwarfism? So these are the basic questions that we need to answer, and that can be explained through monohybrid cross. So first, it's the phenotype. Phenotype is pure tall and pure dwarf. So Mendel has picked up, or even we can perform this experiment now. And this tallness is because of 2 factors. Mendel called it, now we call it gene, that is capital T, capital T. And the pure dwarf is because of small t, small t. We say alleles. Another word we use is alleles. Alleles are pair of genes that are responsible for a phenotype. So capital T is allele, small t is an allele. Even capital T small t is also allele. So pair of genes. And when the meiosis takes place, what happens? When gamete formation takes place, out of the pair of genes, one gene will be incorporated. So out of capital T, 50% means one capital T. So the small t, one small t. So combination of this, both capital T and small t in F1 generation results in the formation of genotype capital T, small t. And the presence of capital T made this F1 generation to become tall as the one of the parents, pure tall parent. And this we refer to law of dominance. And here we are using two words, dominant gene and recessive gene. So here capital T is making this F1 plant as tall as one of the parents which are tallest. And this is possible because of this capital T. Of course, I have to remind you that do not think that these alphabets are genes, capital T, small t. Okay, this is only for our understanding. You know what is a gene. Okay, portion of DNA is a gene, remember. And we also said DNA is made up of three chemicals. Deoxyribonucleic acid, in that deoxyribose is the sugar, phosphate molecule will be the nitrogen bases. So that background you must have in your mind. Do not think that capital T is a gene. No, only for our understanding. It's only alphabet. For our understanding, we are taking this, right? So capital T here is dominant gene. So how do you define this? Dominant gene is a gene that makes a character expressible. So here, what is the character? Length of the plant or tallness of the plant. This makes the plant very tall. So it is able to express itself. So dominant gene is a gene that expresses itself and makes the phenotype to appear. That's why capital T is dominant gene. What about small t? Small t we refer it as recessive gene. Recessive means not dominant. So recessive gene is a gene that cannot express itself in the presence of dominant gene. Of course, when dominant gene is not there, like you have seen in the parental generation, small t, both are recessive genes, yet they are expressing the character called dwarfism, right? But when it is present along with the dominant gene, recessive gene cannot express, like in the case of F1 generation, capital T, small t. Had it expressed, you see, had the recessive gene expressed, the possibility that I told you, 1 meter tall plant and 0.5 dwarf plant, 1 plus 0.5, 1.5 divided by 2, it should have become 0.75. Had small t expressed, had a recessive gene expressed itself. But that is not the case. Hence, we say dominant gene is a gene that expresses itself, and a recessive gene is a gene that cannot express in the presence of dominant gene. Okay. Now, when the selfing takes place, inbreeding takes place, now this capital T, small t will be separated. We say not only law of dominance, here law of segregation. Segregation means separation. The genes are getting separated. And once the gametes get these genes, now capital T, small t, now there is a way of easily writing and expressing the phenotypes and genotypes, and that is discovered by a scientist called Punnett. So we call it as Punnett square, this way of expressing in the form of a square with small inside squares, we call blocks, we call it. So Punnett square or checkerboard. What we do here is on top we will write the genes involved, that is capital T, small t, and same the 2 will be there because in meiosis there will be 4 gametes formed, as all of you know. So another gamete is having capital T and small t. So you got a male gametes having capital T, small t, female gametes capital T, small t. Now the combination is from here to here. So capital T, capital T. So we are getting this pure tall. And the same gamete, when it combines with this capital T, small t, still it is tall. Why? Law of dominance. Dominant, capital T, dominant gene is there. And when this male gamete, small t, combines with this female gamete, that results in capital T, small t. Again, because of the presence of capital T, the plant is tall. And then when this male gamete having small t as gene combines with female gamete having small t as gene, that means not alphabet again. I am giving a warning to you. Not alphabet, it's a gene combination. So it results in small t, and that results as dwarfism as phenotype. So now we are able to answer why whatever questions that we cropped in. So in F2 generation, what happens? The phenotypic ratio is, phenotypic means physical appearance. What is the physical appearance? This is tall plant, one tall plant, two tall plant, three tall plants. So three tall plants have come and one dwarf or small plant has come. So 3:1. So the phenotypic ratio of F1 generation is 3:1. 75% of the products are tall, 25% are small or dwarf. So we said 1/4 and 3/4. This is the reason. And then genotypically of course we have got varieties. What is that? Pure tall, capital T, and then hybrid tall, capital T, small t. There are two. This is one, and this is two. So we have got two, and pure dwarf. So genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. So now can we answer the questions that we were talking? How is that in F1 generation this dwarfism character of the parents disappeared? That's because of law of dominance, presence of capital T. And how is that in F2 generation a new character, hidden character called dwarfism has come in spite of both the parents being hybrid tall, at least pure tall, if not pure tall, at least hybrid tall. And that is again its law of segregation. So not only that, the genes have got freedom to combine with any other gene. We call this as law of independent assortment. These are the three reasons why all the species, not only the Pisum sativum, it is being observed. Lot many experiments were done. Even on animals also these experiments were repeated. And what is wonderful is this 3:1 ratio is universal, and this 1:2:1 also is universal. And in F2 generation, new character called dwarfism has come, which is the grandparents character. This grandparents character has again occurred, and that's because of law of segregation. Hence, we can understand that when we put this monohybrid cross in this fashion, we can answer all the questions. We will see next time. We will pick up two characters. We say dihybrid ratio. Until then, keep practicing with another set of characters. You need not take again tallness. You can take, for example, seeds, a round seed, wrinkled seed. Okay, that you can take up. But you must be very careful. What is the carefulness that you have to take? When you say tall plant, capital T, because spelling is tall, TALL. So you are picking up TT. And don't pick up dwarfism, WW or DD. Here you have to pick up corresponding letters of this. If you are picking capital T, corresponding small letters you have to write, small t. For example, if you are picking round seeds, you have to write capital R. And wrinkled seeds, don't write WW, small w. You have to write small r. This will be the genotype of parents. So based on that, you just come to the F1 generation, write the genotype, write the F2 generation, put the Punnett square and arrive at the answer. Post your answer in our WhatsApp group.